Yeah, if you're a position-based player, Yoshi's might not be the stage for you, is the short version. And Soap is like, does have that quick burst. I kind of remember when Soap first came around, when I first started knowing him. I think like hit was really blowing him up, like he was gassing him up. And rightfully so, the guy's fast.
He's very fast.
Yeah, he's very fast. It feels like you just explode out of his dash dance at any given moment. And when like your dash dance is basically the size of the whole stage, you know, dangerous. You have to be able to keep up with his speed.
Yeah, it's funny because like Soap is one of those guys where it's like you see a new Fox player at your local and oh, did they start? No, it's hand.
Yeah, hand.
You see a new Fox player at your local and they talk about how sick they are, and then they're just like dash dancing in the corner. But, like Soap was like actually the guy I remember who just made it very uncomfortable for me personally when I would play him to be in my shield. And it was kind of new because the style of Fox, for the most part, with the exception of Smokey when he was here in Philadelphia, was more so like trying to space around me and like more of a patient paving style, as opposed to like, okay, let me just hit buttons in your face.
Yeah, Smokey actually gave me some of the best advice I ever received in Melee. I said I'd lost at a tournament. I think I was rooming with him, some major. It's like, I keep losing to Falcon in friendlies. I know I have to fight one tomorrow. What do? He's like, just nair a bunch. And like, they can't do any, they don't have any of the quick moves, so just keep nairing. If they're on the back foot, just nair them. And you know what? It's pretty good advice.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty solid strategy.
Like,
no lie.
Smokey does have, because he knows that a player at the skill level I was then could interpret it in a way that's useful. It's not like just nair mindlessly. Some players, Eric included, have the like innate ability to intuit something and make it really simple and just give you this like tiny piece of advice. It's way easier to digest that way. This thing? Oh yeah. Okay, so it's Dimension and Faye versus the same team we saw last game, Soap and Dawson.
Ooh, alright, so we got Double Fox versus Fox Puff.
Yeah, Dimension's the box Fox now, right? Rectangle Fox.
Actually, both are. Faye Faye's playing on frame 1, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know the difference between the rectangular controllers. I can tell you who does what. But, sure.
So game 1 on FD, this is an interesting strike. I would feel that this disadvantages disproportionately the team with the Puff on it.
I agree, yeah.
We'll see how it plays out.
I guess the thing is, without platforms, Puff does sort of still retain the ability to play above if Soap has an advantage on the ground. And Soap's one of those players that I think feels pretty comfortable playing the grounded Fox style. Yeah. Okay, now and so there's these little tiny sandwich situations where the blue team's like stuck in a shield or something, and the green team's so good at just like peppering with aerials. Hopefully one gets through, and if not, they're still safe.
Yeah.
There's all these little advantages that you eke out over the course of the game that makes you a strong team. Okay, and Dawson going right in the nair, a couple of aerials. It's working out really well. Hasn't even gotten hit once yet.
Nice pickup there by Soap to interrupt the punish. Get a kill.
Yeah, interrupting punishes is huge. Not something we really talked about that much yet. But a player, especially one as quick as Soap, is going to be able to do that to great effect.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the important things I was just thinking about with Puff, that probably is one of the reasons this team works, when we started talking about this off stream a teeny bit too, is that one of Puff's weaknesses in doubles compared to singles is that in singles you can be very difficult to combo Puff. But in doubles, like, one hit from one teammate can lead to another, and that third hit, they could be at kill percent for an up air already. But Soap and Dawson are pretty good at staying close enough, and Soap plays so, I want to say just close in proximity to his opponents, that it's difficult to find a spot where there are two blue team members on Dawson at a single time. It rarely ever happens. Those quick little strings that deal so much damage from Puff just don't happen that often. Okay, misses the reaction, tech chase up smash.
Yep.
Those are some of those big turning points, because if they live much longer and get the punish themselves, which is happening, it can turn the game around. Yeah, good back air pickup. Yeah. Maybe he was able to get an up air or up smash, but it works out anyway.
Good read on the short U too. Like, sometimes you just have to do that in 2022.
Yeah, people love the ledge so much.
Yeah.
And if you give the ledge and they get the ledge, you have to give up so much stage because everyone can ledge dash now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the kind of play that I feel makes Double Fox very overpowered. From the Double Fox team right now, they're just not commanding the ground in the way that you would expect 2 Foxes versus 1 Fox to go.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they're being outplayed on the ground by Soap himself, which is not a good look.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, part of the game plan has to be you can just hit the puff with a back air or something, and then all of a sudden it's 2 Foxes versus 1. Right. Even if they hit the first one, the second one comes in with a drill, gets a grabber up tilt, and the combo begins.
Yep.
Right, until the puff comes back, then you hit him away again. That being said, it's 2v1 right now.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, they're playing this super safe. Just full hop back air, keep Huff out. Don't give her what she wants, because there's pretty much only one win condition here, right?
Yeah.
Especially at this percent.
Oh, couldn't quite get the up air.
Yeah.
Those are the little quick combos I was talking about that make it so scary for Puff and doubles.
Yeah, like, those kinds of combos, as Fox especially, like, sometimes you don't even want to react to the DI, you just want to, like, place an up air in a spot where they're likely going to be.
Yeah, usually you're more, like, reacting to the hit of the other Fox, if it makes sense. Because, like, by the time the back air hit stun ends, if you recognize that they're going to dump the back air, you have to, like, immediately go double jump and put the up air there.
Right.
Yeah, so you're more reacting to, like, what the hitbox... And you can kind of place, like, the up air itself in like a spot that's going to hit them no matter which way they DI. Like the bottom hits the down DI, and you know the top hits the up DI or whatever. Easier said than done because you have to deal with the exact height.
Of course, my Fox could. That's for sure.
It probably could.
No, it could not.
No, I think it could because you actually have a lot of tools when you're like used to playing this game in particular, where if you jump a little too high, you can fast fall by the time the second upper is coming down, or if you're not quite high enough, that's where the problem is.
Right.
So usually you rather overshoot than undershoot as far as the height goes. But you sort of get a feel for those. And also, you'll probably see a lot of Foxes. They jump away, like for the initial jump, and then jump towards for the second back air. You have like more, or the second jump, you have more sort of room to like adjust where you're drifting. In that kind of case, there's little tricks you can do to give yourself a wider margin of error.
So we're in a game 2 here on Battlefield.
And Dawson's dead already.
That was a quick first stock. Especially with 2 Foxes like under 40%. That is really big.
Okay, and you know, one of the things that I think I see sort of maybe part of the reason you were mentioning that Soap has had more domination over the ground than the 2 blue Foxes is they spent a lot of time like being worried about their wires being crossed, it looks like to me. Like they both went next to each other and they just shielded for a second because they didn't know who was supposed to take the lead. And that's one of the dangers of a double Fox team that doesn't have well-defined roles. Is that you sort of have to have someone who's like the default aggressor or some kind of rule. Like if there's one person whose percent is obviously higher, they'll be the support. But if not, then the person with the tag is the aggressor, which I assume is Dimension. You have to have those sort of like guidelines that both of you recognize as a team. And the other thing that can happen is even if you're just playing friendlies, if you're hitting each other a lot, suddenly you'll be tentative, you know what I mean? And you don't want to take too many risks to go forward. And so that's the thing is like, an experienced team player will just like sort of say like, okay, that happened, and then just move on with short memory. Because if you hit your teammate once, it's okay. It's
the same deal in singles, right? Like, if you're like a reaction tech chaser, let's say, and you're not hitting them that day, well, you don't want to like all of a sudden switch your playstyle that you're like totally unfamiliar with, basically, right? Like, that's a surefire way to lose, essentially.
Yeah, as in like, because you based your whole neutral around getting the grab or working off them being afraid of getting grabbed. So you can't just stop grabbing altogether.
Right.
Maybe you go for like less iterations before you do your dash attack or something.
Right.
Or if you're Falcon, probably what you're thinking, before you do your knee read or stomp read or whatever it is. But you don't want to change the whole game plan.
All right, so there's a baby lead here for Dawson too.
Yeah, I don't even know if I call it a lead. Yeah, I guess it's a small one.
Yeah.
It's a small, because Dawson's been living.
All right.
Yeah. Oh no, and he dies so early from the back
thing
air.
I will say about the blue team is they've really been like, their kill confirms, whether it be edge guarding Soap or just getting Dawson at an early enough percent, have been really on point. And that's a big difference maker, actually, in this matchup.
Yeah, and I wonder if any of it has to do with Soap's recovery, because I imagine that double jump probably wants to get the ledge, right? And he went above it and got back air instead. And I mean, in teams, it's a little more difficult too, because there are a lot of different types of situations than what you're just used to from singles, where you'll end up at different heights above or below the stage, different proximities, like you might be farther away or closer than you're used to. But you know, you still hope you can be able to sweet spot the ledge. And there's also this time pressure to get back to your teammate.
Okay.
Oh, unless you just side B off the stage.
An SD plus successful edge guard evens up the match.
Yeah, maybe wanted to shine, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
To shine Dawson underneath. Okay, and at this point, it's a little bit spooky for Soap because they know Dawson wants to stay disengaged for the most part and be there sort of as a more of an edge guarder than an active tool in neutral.
Yeah, he's more going to be picking up off stray hits as opposed to making them happen.
And look, it's working. 2 up airs and a back air already. That's a lot of damage on the blue team. Both of them could be sent off stage at any moment, and that could be the end. Off stage, there's the fair, exactly.
There's the pickup, just like we were talking about.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, Dawson plays it brilliantly. Yep, Soap just doing some safe aerials, because in in singles, if you just go for a single nair at this percent, it doesn't do much. But in teams, there's a chance that your teammate will be able to pick up the tech chase on the other side. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the end of the game.
Oh, wait a second.
Soft back air. Yep, just rinse and repeat. Yeah, if you're not going to be doing the strong move on the stage like a smash and back, you have to be ready to just grab the ledge after. Totally fine. And we have our first game 3 of the tournament.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, it's winter semis already? Wow. Time flies, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know it's a somewhat smaller bracket. There were, what, like 10 or 12 teams that entered, something like that?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I'm just glad to see teams in general because...
Interesting. We have a stadium ban.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, no, it's Dawson and Soap 1, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense because Dawson... Puff is actually kind of slow side to side.
That's true.
So if you're trying to position yourself, yeah, it sort of makes sense to me. And also the low ceiling, of course.
I would just... If I was the Puff player myself, I would just be very frustrated on Yoshi's, where like the full hot back air covers like an entire third of the stage.
Yeah, and especially like Puffs have gotten so proficient, and actually I know Dawson in particular because I've watched a bit. They've become proficient at using the side platforms and mixing up like shield dropping through or wave landing off to place your aerials differently. And when a Fox can just auto cancel that whole thing, basically, it's you know, a little less scary for them. But Dawson's at the level where you have more than one game plan, right? You have more than one style you can go to. Okay, we have a narrow lead, and actually Dawson ends up being the stock tank once again.
Yeah, that has kind of been his superpower this set. Holding on the stocks for pretty long as Puff.
Yeah, and you have to be real careful of which moves you're letting yourself get hit by. One of the traps you can fall into as someone with kill power like a Fox or a Falcon in teams is the quick moves hit so much more often that you may not be mentally prepared to take the kills when you can get them. Like when you have time to get the up smash, you may just do another nair because you feel like you're always in a rush. So being able to pace yourself appropriately is really important. Look at that, there's a nair there where maybe there could have been an up air. And sometimes time, the time pressure is important. You need to have a sense of urgency. But other times, like when you're thinking risk-reward-wise, like one more hit as opposed to leaving Dawson alive for another, 20 seconds, and look, there he's alive again. It's worth going for that up air one time. And I mean, it happens to me all the time. That's why I'm so aware of it. Like my autopilot brain was saying back air the Puff again, which is okay, but you have to be ready to really double team the Fox partner. It's actually Soap who ends up getting the kill on Dawson at the end of it all. Our display is having a little technical issue, but it looks like we're back. Cool. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So the one that I'm assuming is Dimension with the tag went for a pass, but unfortunately the light-colored Fox partner was too busy comboing Puff in order to finish off the Fox, and instead nothing happened.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a nice little mix-up,
Yeah, I was actually, before you were going to say that, I was just going to say, it feels like the double Fox team is playing too many 1v1s right now for what should be their win condition, right? Which is to okay, knock away the Puff, hit the Fox over and over again.
They did a good job sharing the ledge right there. Yeah, back to your point. So the superpower of Fox in teams, other than the kill power, one of the superpowers of Fox is that you can go from playing a 1v1 to immediately picking up or passing. And instead, I feel like this sort of tunnel vision maybe a little bit on whoever they were fighting before. rather than just, you know, doing it as a team.
Oh, early,
yeah,
I guess SD there.
Yeah, an SD, and it actually does give the blue team a very slight lead. And they sort of have stage advantage.
Oh, it looks like Dimension kind of gave that up then.
He did. Maybe he was expecting a little bit of ingress. Oh, he back aired him into his up air. Oh, that's tough. He was trying to protect him, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, okay, wait. A little bit of a miscue from Faye.
Yeah, messes up the team ledge guard.
Smart to go to the platform there. Gives himself one more chance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
It ends up working out. That's a tight set.
Yeah.
Nice
That SD there from Soap at the very end kind of totally swung the momentum into blue team's favor.
Yeah, and I mean, Dimension and Faye now are in winners finals, which is slotted to take on the winner of. I actually haven't seen Toussaint around, I don't think, because J-Flex Toussaint were the 1 seed for this tournament.
They're actually playing each other right in front of us.
Oh, they're playing each other right in front of us. Okay.
Toussaint with his not patented haircut.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's why I didn't recognize him. Okay.